Tunisian citizens give diverse reactions to government's decision banned on single plastic usage. And community for their good conduct in his traditional Christmas message. Well, these and more coming your way on The World Today. Hello, this is Eyeafrica TV, and you are watching The World Today News Bulletin coming to you live from our studios in Banjul. Many thanks for joining us. I am Amadou Kante, and now the news in detail. Now, the Gambia government has said that it has made 2 more arrests in connection with last week's alleged foiled coup plot against President Barrow's regime. One captain and the other a second lieutenant. Now, the information was contained in a press release, which also states that the search is ongoing for other conspirators still at large. Yahya Jammeh tells us more in this report.
Following last week's announcement by the Gambia government of a foiled coup attempt by some members of the Gambia Armed Forces, a search was launched in earnest for other conspirators it says were part of the alleged plot but who were on the run. On Monday, the government issued another press release announcing the arrest on Christmas Day of Captain Ibrahim Balde from the Gambia Armed Forces Military Intelligence Security Unit and Second Lieutenant Omar Koli of the 1st Infantry Battalion Yundum Barracks a day earlier. The search for 1 Baji and Warrant Officer Class 2 Lamin Jadama is still in progress. Against this backdrop, the Gambia government has announced the setting up of a legally constituted investigative panel to be formally tasked with all investigations surrounding the alleged foiled coup plot. In any case, many Gambians are still in doubt as to whether there was in fact an attempted coup in the first place, with some linking it with the alleged video made by Mamadou Sabali, campaign manager of the opposition United Democratic Party, in which he is said to have threatened to overthrow President Adama Barrow's government. Sabali himself is still in detention awaiting trial for treason. As the days go by and government continue to search for another alleged conspirators, Gambians await eagerly to find out if there may be more senior officers involved in this alleged coup plot, and also how soon the accused will be brought to court and formally charged. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
And we'll keep you posted on the unfolding events related to the alleged coup plot against the Gambian government. Now, moving on, Tunisia's government decision to place a ban on single-use plastic bags has triggered different reactions among citizens, with many approving the move to help protect the country's environment. However, stakeholders within the plastic business industry have raised concerns, saying the measure is affecting their business. Now, the plastic producers in the North African country are also urging the state to provide them with technical assistance to enable them to produce alternative bags. Let's have more details of that in this report.
Eyeafrica is a distribution and delivery employer to plastic packaging company, which is located in a popular neighborhood in the suburbs of the capital city Tunis. Eyeafrica says the ban on single-use plastic bags has affected his business as well as the activity of all his clients.
The state is imposing this strict ban while professionals do not have a concrete alternative. Everyone needs single-use plastic bags: shops, businesses, merchants and consumers. Plastic prices will go up and authorities will also impose fines. We just want to work and respect the law.
There was little willingness from the Ministry of Environment to adopt the recommendations that were outlined in the study. Also, there was no little willingness also to deliver on the promises of helping companies to adopt. There was no financial assistance.
Unlike plastic producers, importers and distributors, the business of palm leaf baskets and eco-friendly bags is booming in the North African country. In fact, the ban on single-use plastic bags has created a new market and opportunities in rural regions.
I have created an association with 89 other women. We are making, selling and exporting palm leaf baskets. We also collect natural fibers to make alternative bags which can be reused for years.
Now it's vital to protect the environment. It's not easy to change our habits and opt for reusable bags. The whole world is banning single-use plastic bags. We can also do it here in Tunisia.
The government's attempt to implement a national ban on single-use plastic bags was suspended after coming under pressure from industry stakeholders. Authorities say their objective is to protect the environment while converting and preserving jobs in the plastics industry. Hundreds of plastic bag manufacturers say they are facing bankruptcy as the industry is unable to cope with the new regulation, while the demand is still high for single-use plastic bags. Industry players are calling for the government's technical support and financial assistance to enable them to produce biodegradable bags.
And let's stay within the North African region because Egypt, like many countries around the world, continues to battle against the prevailing economic hardship triggered by the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Ukrainian war, among other factors. Our citizens are expressing their frustration over the spiraling cost of living, high inflation, and the depreciation of the local currency. Authorities in the North African nation have been initiating measures to help mitigate the growing burden on the citizenry. Here's more details of that in this report.
The fallout from the COVID pandemic and the conflict in Eastern Europe has hit the Egyptian economy hard. Authorities have been forced to devalue the Egyptian pound twice since March, a move that has led to a slump of the currency, which has lost 52% of its value and nearly 100% in the parallel market.
Egypt's problem is that it wholly depends on imports for its food and basic needs, and with global inflation, our import costs have jumped drastically, pushing prices up. Our inflation is triggered by high costs rather than high demand, stagflation, which is extremely difficult to tackle.
Inflation has hit a 5-year high of nearly 20%, and which is taking a toll on low-income earners like Ahmed Shaban, a supermarket manager.
I stopped spending on outings and luxury goods. I only spend on necessities. It's the same with my clients. They now only buy the minimum basic needs for the day. In the past, 100 Egyptian pounds used to get you many products, but today, you can only buy just 1 or 2 things.
The government has been adopting measures to curb the downward trend.
The government has to cut state expenditure so that revenue exceeds expenses. There is a privatization policy to attract foreign investments. We must support industrialization and agricultural production, increase manufacturing and exports to create jobs and state revenue. It will take time.
Meanwhile, to protect Egyptians from the impact of global contraction, officials intervened with multi-billion-dollar social safety programs, which included raising wages and pensions 3 times in 2 years. They also increased food rations, monthly payments for the poor, and dumped the market with subsidized goods.
It's good. It's making a difference. It helps me and others to afford more of our needs because the old salaries were not enough to survive the increasing prices.
The International Monetary Fund has also approved a $3 billion loan to Egypt that it says would unlock a further $14 billion in loans and investments to give a major boost to the reform efforts by the North African nation.
And of course, from that report here from the North African region of Egypt, coming back home, President Adama Barrow delivered his Christmas message on the eve of Christmas, expressing gratitude to the Christian community for their good conduct in the country. Christians celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ on Christmas Day. President Barrow urged both Christian and other religious denominations to maintain peace and harmony in the country. Here's more details of that, Mariam Chao.
President Adama Barrow also emphasized on the religious tolerance that all religions in the country are enjoying and encouraged the strengthening of interfaith cohesion in the country.
I am grateful for the manner Christians in the country conduct themselves I should also mention that even though they are in the minority, they enjoy their right to religious freedom, worship, and association like all other citizens. Interfaith cohesion and family ties between Christians and non-Christians make us a model as a people of different faiths who coexist peacefully.
Christmas is an annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed primarily on December 25th as a religious and a cultural celebration among billions of people around the world. In that regard, the Gambian leaders seek prayers for those with health conditions and others behind bars for the crimes they did or did not do.
As we celebrate Christmas tomorrow, let us pray for the lives we lost over the year. Those living with ill health and lying at home or admitted to hospital, and those in sorrow or in prison due to miscarriage of justice or for no fault of theirs. They deserve our prayers and well wishes.
President Barrow said despite the challenges the world is facing, there should be gratitude for health and tranquility.
The world continues to face the effects of the global economic crisis and conflicts between and within nations. However, this is a period to look back and be grateful for the excellent health, peace, and tranquility bestowed upon our families, neighbors, friends, and loved ones.
Christmas is the only time of the year celebrated to remember the birth of Jesus Christ. It is observed on 25th December all across the world and holds a religious significance. Christians celebrate Christmas with tradition and practices that are religious. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.
Gambia's President Yahya Jammeh expressing or encouraging Gambians to live peace and harmony as he delivers his Christmas message a few days ago. And with that report there by Yahya Jammeh, we now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching the World Today News Bulletin. Once again, many thanks for joining us. Let's now look at the rest of the stories. Now, to some of the news, the Afghan Taliban government's decision to suspend university education for women in the Asian country did not go down well with the international community and its citizens, including women university students. According to the Taliban leadership, the move is necessitated to avoid the mixing of genders at universities, the lack of wearing the hijab properly, and also countering the teaching of some subject through the contrary of the principle of Islam. Now, the latest move was preceded by the secondary school ban for gowns, leaving many worried about the prevailing situation in the war-torn country. Here's more details of that in this report.
The Taliban Education Ministry in Afghanistan issued a letter instructing public and private universities to suspend female students from attending immediately, in accordance with a cabinet decision. After waves of international criticism, the acting Minister of Higher Education, Nida Muhammad Nadeem, appeared on the national radio and television of Afghanistan and justified the decision. He said the decision was a necessary step to prevent the mixing of genders at universities, the lack of applying the hijab or the face veil correctly, and because he believes some university subjects being taught violated the principles of Islam. CGTN tried to reach the Taliban government authorities directly for further clarification on the decision, but they didn't respond to our request. But female university students oppose the decision. They believe that the Taliban-led government is denying them a right to an education.
A girl has no right to an education. A girl cannot educate herself. Why? We are banned from university. We are banned from school. We cannot study anymore. What is it our fault?
I'm a student studying media and communications at Kabul University. This decision has shocked us.
There are Taliban security forces at universities and government compounds and the central areas of Kabul. They are prepared to crack down on any potential protest demanding women's rights.
What comes next is very dangerous for Afghanistan and either for the Western countries, European countries, and that will increase a new wave of immigration.
Meantime, the Taliban issued another edict on Saturday, banning women from working for foreign and domestic non-government organizations, alleging some women weren't wearing their headscarf correctly. It's been almost 500 days since the Taliban took power in Afghanistan. At the first stage, they banned secondary schools for girls, and now the female university students were suspended from studies. The Taliban authorities say it will continue until further notice, but the further notice is not yet cleared.
And from the report here in Afghanistan, finally, to our final story back home here in the Gambia, now Wellingara Karate Club. And the Gambia Karate Association will be organizing a karate championship from the 7th to the 8th of January 2023 at the Wellingara Nursery School. Now, the competition is expected to bring together more than 10 clubs within the country for the championship. Let's have more details of that in this report.
According to the organizers, the competition is geared towards exposing local talents to promote the game in the country. Since the establishment of the Karate Club in Wellingara, authorities continue to face challenges in uplifting the club due to lack of support, especially in the areas of material and finance. One of the founders and former coach of the club, Umar Manjang, explains the significance of hosting such a competition, saying it will help to boost the morale of the kids, especially after several years of struggle.
Organizing such kind of competition with kids to expose their talents despite the limited available resources. Since we established this club in Wellingara, we have been trying to train and develop them with discipline because that is what karate is all about. We are encouraging other associations to come and partner with us, and we are inviting everyone to join us as we stage this event, promote local talents, and we need support from everyone.
It's a society for now.
Commenting on the state of preparation ahead of the event, Treasurer of the Gambia Karate Federation, Mr. Famara Sise, called on authorities at the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the National Sport Council to consider other sporting activities such as karate when giving out support to sport associations.
We even need the Sport Council to come and support, because if you check in Gambia, most of all the sport, I can say football is one of them that the government mainly powered or send money into. There are other crucial sports in the country which the government is not looking at. The clubs, such like karate. Karate has been in Gambia since 1993. It has been here. But some of the people within the country, they don't even know what is karate. And then karate is all about discipline. So if we can have the support of the National Sport Council or the National Olympic Committee to come to our aid, let them support the young ones. For us, we can say we have now retired, but we have a huge amount of them, young kids who are within here. They can support them. But if the government didn't come forward to help us, it means the clubs and the federation would be doing everything on their own, which is not right. So I think they are centered more on football than any other disciplines.
Mamadou Diallo, the club's master, thanked parents and the community for the trust they had in him to train and manage their children for several years now. He, however, outlined constraints the club continues to face, which include lack of equipment and funding, especially as they prepare to organize this karate championship.
76 students.
This club is currently having 76 students, both boys and girls. We are training them karate skills, discipline and perseverance to be good leaders in our society. But we lack support in many areas, and that is why we are struggling to organize this competition. We are appealing to our authorities in the community and beyond to come to our aid to enable us stage a successful championship. We are trying to inculcate discipline into kids to help their parents, but due to the limited resources, things have been difficult with us. So we are requesting assistance from anyone who could help us.
Karate is a martial art developed in the Ryukyu Kingdom. It is also developed from indigenous Ryukyuan martial arts under the influence of Chinese martial arts. In the Gambia, karate is arguably the oldest, most popular and respected martial art. Apart from the development of self-defense skills, the game's fans are of the view the practice builds confidence, self-discipline, and fitness. It is also believed that karate gives children a solid foundation to cope with pressure and to enjoy it throughout their childhood. Reporting for Africa News, I am Amadou Kante.
And that report on the sporting related matters, as the Wellingara Karate Club, of course, are gearing up to organize a karate championship started from the 7th to the 8th of January. So the club is calling for support from the local authorities and, of course, the government to help them organize or stage a successful championship. And I hope the authorities will heed to their call. And with that report, we now eventually bring this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, as always, as ever, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the pleasure of your company. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and do have a pleasant evening. Bye for now.